I'm really excited today because this is something we've been after for a while, to really find a way to introduce physical activity or movement to patients or program participants that find movement difficult. So today we are speaking to Ianthe Basson, and I'm not gonna do the I'm not gonna I'll do it badly. So
No, I don't think so. No, I think you should talk more.
should I?
Introduce
Okay,
more.
should
Yeah, no,
I
you do it. Do
introduce more?
it. I think it's
So
better.
I think for full disclosure, Ianthe was silly enough to marry me a long time ago, but luckily she came to her senses. So, but really for full disclosure's sake. But I mean, I've been following Ianthe's work, particularly in the field of pain management now for a few years, and I found it unbelievably interesting and fascinating. So I thought this would be. I don't just think so. I genuinely believe that this is the right way to start to address some of the movement-based challenges that we have in the business that we're in. So, but I do want you to tell us a little bit more, Ianthe. So maybe I'm going to ask you, give us a little bit of background. How did you end up here? How did you end up doing the work that you're doing?
I think, first of all, I just want to share with everyone that I think that I was hounding Steve and Health Architects because I believe there's a synergy, and I'm so passionate about movement and helping people move better and experience joy from movement. That I was so headstrong in doing something with Health Architects because the passion that you guys have is the same passion that I have for helping people to experience a full and joyful life with movement ease, because guys, we were designed to move, we were built to move, and we were built to move well. And somewhere along the line, things and stuff and diagnoses and life has got in the way of our basic human right to be able to move efficiently and well and happily and enjoy moving our bodies. And so that's why I'm so happy to be with you guys today. Really happy, super excited at what we're going to be doing with everyone on the program. And just to get back to the original question, because I can talk to you all for days and hours, I'd love to, but not for today. My background originally is a professional dancer. So I broke my body in brilliant and marvelous ways more than 25 years ago and was in a professional dance company. And I couldn't continue along that long career path, unfortunately. And now I see it as the biggest gift that I could ever have received because of various injuries and pathologies that were happening over and over again in my body. And I was in excruciating agony. And I needed to, first of all, rehab my body. And second of all, I needed to, after then rejoining the dance company after rehab by an incredible exercise physiologist called Steve Murray. My body just couldn't take being under that load for so many hours a week, for 10 shows a week, having one day rest and having one physio session, possibly a month, because that's all that was allocated for us within a company of 38 dancers. And we were touring. So I really tried going back into a full-time schedule, and my body said no. And so I was guided along to the path of Pilates as my primary movement modality for rehabbing my own body. And guys, I fell in love with Pilates. I think I felt that it was designed for me, and I just sort of just share it with everyone that I knew. And so I made it my mission to study further and become fully qualified in a fully integrated Pilates work, which is on the apparatus equipment and the mat work. And I started doing that. I've been in the movement wellness business now for over 20 years. So I am passionate about finding challenges and helping people overcome and manage those challenges through all the years of helping and experiencing and witnessing those changes that take place in people's bodies. My forte, my strengths lie in in assisting people with chronic pain and autoimmune disease and prolonged injuries and pathologies in the bodies. So that's where I love getting involved, because I know how much it is needed, not only for them personally, for their bodies, but also for them on a much broader scale point of view for their lives. So I have done the research, worked with the patients, been in clinics, out of clinics, in studios, out of studios, almost becoming obsessive to the point of losing myself in the work. And now it's time to share it with more people so that we can notice this amazing facility that we have, because it truly is designed in the most incredible way. And we need to bring and connect people back to that gift of intelligence. I call it the gift of body intelligence, because it's built into our DNA. We've just lost those connections, and we just
Absolutely.
need to bring them back together again.
Sure. I mean, I remember winging it a little bit here. I mean, I remember seeing you dance. And I mean, the disconnect that people have between watching somebody at that level on stage and but not connecting to what is done to get there is mind-boggling, you know, and the amount of and to see either the work, which is the output, which is the stage show, night after night after night, but understand the kind of pain and suffering, you know. And I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying that, you know, as a flippant statement, but understanding that professional dancers are you know, they're broken, you know, as you said, you know, to me, there's a disconnect, you know, there. And the output doesn't tie up with the work that I saw professional dancers doing every day. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. And at that level of expectation of what we expect our bodies to be able to do is actually not normal. You know, depending on how you look at normal, it's not normal. But having said that, if I didn't go through those experiences, Steve, I wouldn't be able to have the level of understanding and compassion
Absolutely.
and empathy that is required
Yeah,
in working with clients and people that are experiencing chronic pain and various
absolutely.
different
There's got
problems
to
in
be.
their bodies.
There's got to be a connection. I mean, with that kind of work and that kind of, you know, I know what you went through on a sort of average day. You know, the show's at whatever 6 o'clock or whatever, but you're starting at 1 o'clock. You know, and that's insane. That's just mad. Okay, but moving on. I mean, a really important question for me is like, so why choose? I know it's to do a little bit because you're stubborn and you're when you want something and you know what you want to do, you're going to go after it. But there's got to be more to it than that. Why choose? Why choose these conditions
You know what?
that medicine says, hey, may not even exist? You know?
For precisely that very reason. It does exist. It exists. And it exists not only in if you look at broad scale meta analyses of research that's been done out there over the years, there is copious amounts of scientific studies and research that link everything together. It is just not reaching the mainstream medical levels because it is very, I like to say they've got the blinkers on the horse. They've got horse blinkers on. And why I chose to focus
I think that's
specifically on
nice.
this,
I think that's a nice analogy. I would.
it's horse blinkers, and that's it. They literally, and you know what? There is a place for Western medicine and modern medicine and all ranges of medicine, but I think where we've lost the connections is that we, the doctors, the medical profession, are treating. They're not treating the human being in front of them, and we are human beings, and these human beings are coming to us with real problems, and they're not being heard, and they're not being listened to, and most of all, they're not being given solutions other than a prescription pad that's been written, like I call it the trigger finger, the trigger
Yeah,
pen.
yeah,
Other than that, the trigger pen just
yeah.
goes, and it's no disrespect to the medical profession at all. We understand how busy they are. We know that they have things to do and patients to see, but I think that it's been misinterpreted. I think that they are looking for a quick fix solution by using their prescription pad.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this and sharing it because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in my practice. I've seen it happen in clinics, and I've seen it happen. And I've seen the changes that take place when we look at our people, because they become like family for me, the people
Yeah.
that I work with. When I look at my family that I'm busy assisting as human beings with a whole body integration with the Steve, here's where another thing where the modern medical science is missing the point. And they've been missing the point not only for just 10 or 20 years, they've been missing it for centuries, because there's literature out there that clearly states that you cannot separate the immune system from the emotional system, from the
Yeah.
mental and physical well-being system. They are inseparable. They are
Absolutely.
inseparable. They work as one beautiful being of existence.
Yeah.
They're the same system. And what they're taught in medical school does not incorporate that. So it's
Mm.
of no fault of the current medical practitioners out there, but we can do it better. We can
I mean,
all
I
make
get
it
that.
better.
Absolutely. I mean, I came across your work for the first time in a long time when you were working with spinal patients um,
Yes.
in a hospital setting. I mean,
Yes.
this was blew my mind. So there we've got um, people that have had significant spinal surgery. Now, I've had back surgery. Um,
Yes.
seeing somebody in a hospital gown, with a drip stand,
Correct.
busy doing dance-based movements and getting better. I mean,
Absolutely. Yes.
that was kind of just mind-boggling for me.
It was incredible to work with those patients because it is really way uh, for where we are with regards to post-operative spinal rehab and what the majority of surgeons are prescribing out
Yeah.
there post-surgery wise. It was way out of the box. I mean, if you told me you're going to be working with a patient that's just had a lumbar fusion and
Mm.
they still have a drain from their wound, and you're going to be moving with them on day 2 post spine surgery, I would have said a few years ago, you've got to be crazy. I'm not doing it. Um, but at
But
the
you did.
time, I was working with a neurosurgeon, and we
Yeah.
were working with a multimodal team,
Yeah.
and I had the best job because I came in and I taught the work, which I developed in
Yeah.
from scratch, a 3-tiered program from 2 days post surgery right up until 1 year post surgery. And seeing these people move and dance, because we were moving to music, but we were doing the conventional prescribed rehab exercises
Mm.
in a different format. I was interpreting it differently, and I
Yep.
translated what the original physical therapists or the biokineticists would use in their practice. And I created something a little bit more interesting, something new,
That's
because
carefully
the
put.
human brain and body work differently with a new experience. So by the time these patients were having their surgery, they'd had the months of physio, they'd had the months of biokinetics, but they had never experienced movement to music in a supportive environment and safe setting. Um, and here they were with their drip stands and their drains
Mm.
doing the movements
I saw it
and recovering
with my
far
own eyes.
faster.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing. So, I mean, I saw it with my own eyes. I saw the data. We spoke to the surgeon. I mean, okay. So, what you're doing and what we're going to do in our program is to use. Let's use it carefully, and tell me if I've got this wrong. We're going to use rhythmic or
Yes.
rhythmical movements that are put to that. So it's not necessarily dance, is it? But it's
No.
rhythmical movements.
Rhythmical
Yeah.
sequences that create a harmony in the body between a neural muscular organization. Um, it has an element of somatic movement to it, which is something that we will go on to explain. We could
Yeah.
probably do another
Hmm.
chat about that, but just
Hmm.
briefly. And then a little bit more of appropriate movement prescription, because the regular exercise interventions do not work for
Yeah.
this pain family of
Absolutely.
ours. So
Well, I mean,
it's a
yeah,
combination of it's very exciting stuff because it's so beautiful, because it creates hope and it
absolutely.
creates positive change, and we learn to share in and I repeat the word again, safe.
Yes.
It's very important that our bodies feel safe in a movement environment. And I do not like using the word exercise, because your brain and body have a preconceived memory system, and it's stored every single experience you've had, of which exercise forms part of that. And I don't know whether your exercise experience is good or bad. I've had the most horrendous exercise experiences that have been prescribed for my body, and they are horrific for me, and I feel terrible afterwards, and I don't want to ever do those movements again in my life. And so I steer away, and you guys do the same. It's movement with
Exercise is a
rhythm
pastime,
and harmony and
you know.
sequences to promote and restore our function.
And what is it? So what is it about? And now we have to put dance in there, but because it is correct. There
It
is,
is
and
a dance.
You send me the literature, and I'm poring over it because I find it absolutely fascinating. What is it with dance that seems to have this almost unique restorative? What is it? Why does it do that?
I think, Steve, because it takes us out of the present moment and brings us back to an internal present moment. So in that moment, yes, you're in your body, and that's where we want you to be. We want you to be present within your body, but there's something magical that happens with the music and the harmony and the rhythm and the natural. We have built-in rhythm. We have built-in rhythm, and the mind is actually focusing on other things, like hearing a timing of the music or feeling the natural rhythm, because our bodies are built. The design of our bones, guys, the design of how our bones and muscles work together is a dance all in itself. And so, because we're designed that way, when we go back to our original design within our DNA of gentle flow and movement with music, that is where the magic takes place. That is where there is a complete whole body experience. Dance is really a whole body experience, and when I use the word whole body, it's what one of my greatest teachers in the whole world describes as whole body health, is Joseph Pilates. Joseph Pilates, his biggest aim for the whole world was to create an awareness and educate us on what whole body health is. It's a dance between the systems. It's a dance between the immune system, the brain and body connection, putting everything together and connecting it. And the best way to connect all of those things is dance.
That's just, I mean, that's amazing. And I mean, I mean, you know that you hit so many of the buttons that we share. You know, Jenny, from a functional medicine perspective, she's all about understanding root causes. You know, one system does not work on its own. So, I mean, we're all on the same boat here. So, I mean, we're super excited about this. We are super excited about this program. I mean, because particularly the two conditions that are, you know, in epidemic proportions, as you are well aware, you know, chronic fatigue and its nasty cousin, because they're the same condition. One just happens to have pain with it, fibromyalgia. But those two conditions, chronic fatigue with its nasty little painful cousin, is, you know, we have to create hope for people. We have to create hope because they are hopeless, and they're feeling helpless, and medicine has nothing for them.
I
And I
hear
think we've
you.
got something. I really do. I think we've got something for them.
I know we have. I know we have. Guys, I got so excited when I was starting to talk to Steve and Jenny about what we can do together to create something really fantastic and really helpful, and actually find and help and give whole body integrated wellness solutions. That is functional medicine, that is exercise science, that is movement and mindset, and just creating this system. A community is how I like to tell my
I think
pain
that's
family
spot
members,
on.
a
That's spot on.
community of support and care, so we can
And we will.
experience better days.
Andy, thank you so much. I took way more time than I asked you for. Thank you for sharing your, you know, but not only your expertise, 'cause I've seen it, but what drives you has always been your passion for getting this done. And so from our perspective, we can't wait to get this program up and done. I know you are flat out at the moment doing all the cool stuff, and we really look forward to taking this further. And thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Likewise, thank you guys for having me this morning. I'm so honored and really can't wait to share more with everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, Ianthe. You have a good
Okey-doke.
weekend. Take it easy.
And you.
Okay, bye.
Ciao.
Wow.